All right, one last part, plot. Now, big idea. A good story should be character-driven rather than plot-driven. Well, what does that mean? There's really nothing like just a plot. A plot is really if you put a character into a situation. And then, based on the character's sort of profile that we just analyzed, based on her character traits, her wants, her desires, her wishes, if you put the character in a given situation, then the character will handle that situation. And that is just simply how the story will unfold. So a plot is character put into a situation, and the driving forces of the character drive the plot. That is all there is, really. Now, for a story to work, for a story to be interesting, a character needs opportunities to develop. And there can be different types of opportunities. First one is like opposing forces, right? There can be alternative choices. Then situations can get more complicated, and in the end there is like a point of crisis, right? So in our Thor film, opposing forces, well, Loki made it happen that the Frost Giants interrupt the coronation ceremony. Alternative choices, just accept that he defeated them and do it later. No, he ran after them, invaded their kingdom, and made the whole film happen. Bad choice. Situations get complicated. He's basically losing, then Odin saves him. And then point of crisis, Odin banishes him to Earth, takes his power, tells him he is unworthy, tells him he is a cruel, stupid boy. So worked perfectly here. And now the character can develop. So perfect formula kind of film. Now it makes it possible for Thor to turn it all around and to make the film happen. So from the point of view of a writer, you really put a character into a specific situation and you consider, how would my character develop? How would her actions or the actions that the character has to take propel sort of the story to a point of crisis? Like, I've once listened to an interview of the creator of Game of Thrones, and they asked him, like, well, why don't you write more books? I mean, there are 2 more scheduled, where's the story going? He was like, I'm doing too many things. Like, when I lie down in bed, it's not like Arya and Sansa and Jon, are doing things in my head. It's other people. So from the point of view of a writer, you have your characters. You know them really well. You know their personality. You know their wants. You know their backstories, their pasts that influence their future, their present, right? And based on that information, stories happen. And that is really why all this character analysis is so important, because there is nothing of a plot other than the characters doing situations based on all the things we just established. So what kinds of conflicts are there? There are basically 3. Conflicts can be between characters, they can be within one character, or they can be between a character and external forces. Now, let's take our standard stories again. If you have Harry Potter, we have all 3. Between characters, we have Malfoy. They are like equals, they're both students, but Malfoy is like the bad guy. And there's this conflict between the characters, Malfoy trying to make Harry's life more difficult. Then within Harry, of course, he is the chosen one. He has to become stronger. He has to fight Voldemort. He has to become courageous and all that. But also, there's this backstory. He was abandoned by his parents. Not abandoned, I mean, they died. He felt abandoned. He was with this really weird family, so he had to get over that. He wants to be in touch with his parents somehow, psychologically. Then external forces, I mean, the Death Eaters, that drives like the whole novels in the end, right? All the novels. Frozen. Let's take Elsa this time. Between characters, Anna, she shuts her out. Anna doesn't want to be shut out. She wants to build a snowman, the song, right? And which is a metaphor for I want to do things with you. It doesn't have to be a snowman. Then within herself, she has to learn to control her powers. She has to find out how. And then external forces, she has to be queen and not be noticed. That is very difficult. And then later, of course, be accepted, etc. Or in Thor again, Loki, the brother, like the rivalry between brothers. His internal thing is to become a wise king, to make his father proud, right? It's always the thing, I want to make you proud. External forces, the first giants is banishment. So, most good stories have like these three types of opposition that will drive the stories.